With so many ways to spend money to try to gain admission to a top university, we wondered, is there really a secret formula to getting in? Jacques Steinberg, education reporter for the New York Times, talked Wesleyan College into letting him observe the admissions process from the inside. He spent 8 months following 6 high school students, applicants to Wesleyan's class of 2004, a guidance counselor, and an admissions officer at the college, and details all he's learned in his new book, The Gatekeepers. I caught up with him on UCLA's campus here in Los Angeles and began by asking him if he'd cracked the secret code to getting in.
There certainly is no formula, and a lot of the How to Get In books will imply that there is this formula, and if you buy this book and follow these rules, you'll get in. That was not my experience. If that formula exists, I couldn't find it, and I was there a long time. Certainly they put a premium on your taking the hardest courses, and that was encouraging to me too. They would rather see you get B's in the toughest courses in your school in general than A's in easy courses. They want to see that you're the kind of person who really goes for it, and if a hard course is offered at your school, you take it. In terms of extracurricular activities in general, and it's hard to generalize, they tend to like to see a couple of activities that you do really well and for a long time, and to the extent they can tell because you love them, to the point that you become a leader in them, rather than just taking a different activity every semester.
What is the point of the admissions process from the point of view of the college? Is it getting the best students? Is it getting the right students for that school? Or is it increasing the number of applicants and therefore boosting the college up on the ranking system?
I think it's all of it. I think they're trying to do a lot of different things at once, and I think that oftentimes, as you point out, it's contradictory. And sometimes doing one thing sends off another. They're trying to raise their median SAT score, in part because that will impress U.S. News, and yet they're also trying to raise the percentage of minority kids on campus because that's such an important part of a liberal arts education, and often kids of color have lower SAT scores. So they're trying to do all these different things at once and somehow bring it into some kind of balance.
So many parents, I hear this over and over, just worry about how competitive the process has become and worry that their kid, your basic good kid, decent grades, some interesting extracurriculars, a nice young man or young woman is going to get shut out.
One of the most exciting parts of this process to me was how human it was, and that at all of these colleges, whether it's Wesleyan or Harvard or Princeton or Dartmouth or Stanford, your application is read at least twice by 2 different people. And that's a chance for you to make a connection with that person. And you have no idea about the background of that person, and they may well be, as you described, this is the very sort of person, the sort of nice person that you think might get lost in the process. The person reading that file may identify with that kid and literally bring him or her to the head of the class.
So in short, your advice to a student about to embark on this process is?
It sounds Pollyanna-ish, but I think given the long odds and the fact that they make such an effort to get to know you, I think you really sort of can be yourself. Take the hardest classes at your school, take activities for the sheer enjoyment of doing them and stick with them, use your essay to let them get to know you, and then kind of let the cards, fall where they may.
And your advice to parents?
Oh, God, for God's sakes, relax. I mean, there's really so little that you can do to sort of game this process.
And after observing it as closely as you did, your assessment of the process?
I think that if you're going to let human beings do this work, and I would argue that you should, if you could certainly throw SAT scores, grade point average, class rank, maybe a few points for race, a few points for a particular activity into a computer, and get a perfectly wonderful college class. It's not a college class that I think I would want to be a part of. I also don't think it's a college class I could have gotten into. I think once you turn this work over to people, you sort of have to let them be human and go with their gut and pick favorites and form coalitions and just do the best job they can. I'd be hard-pressed to improve this process.
Interesting. Jacques Steinberg, thanks for joining us.